what I'm going to do today is we're going to cover basic knife skills, and I'm going to show you how to cut up a pepper and an onion. The first things though, we'll talk about the knife. That is probably the most important thing when it comes to knife skills. The parts of the knife are important to know. Obviously this is the handle, and obviously this is the tip. But the other parts of the knife to know are the spine, the bolster, which is the part where the blade and the handle connect, and also obviously the edge. So the important parts, obviously the dangerous parts are the edge and the tip. But the thing I always like to tell people is when they hold a knife, lots of people will hold the knife, you know, like this. And while you got a good grip on it, it's not very secure as far as cutting. So the best example I have to, you know, methodology for holding a knife to even better control of it is the pinch method, I call it. You want to take your first finger and your thumb and pinch at the bolster and wrap your 3 fingers around the back. So now the knife is an extension of your wrist and not just your hand. So you have complete control over where the knife goes, and it's not going to slip out of your hand and turn sideways like you can when you have a grip on it like this. So now that we've covered the basics of the knife, I'm going to show you how to cut up some of the, not some of, but 2 of the vegetables I think are the ones that people have the most challenges with. That's an onion and a red bell pepper. So we'll start off with the red onion, and this is just a basic dice on how to dice a red onion. So you have the root end and the blossom end of the red onion, and red onion is basically a bulb, like for a flower. So what we're going to do is we're going to make it easier to hold on to, because see, the onion rolls all over the place. So we're going to cut both of these ends off. So a nice flat surface to work with. When we have a flat surface, I like to cut it in half vertically, and that way it makes it really easy to peel that outer layer of flesh off that is kind of tough and papery, and also could potentially hold any defects in the onion. So once we get this peeled off, make sure that there's a little bit of this papery goodness on here. Peel that off because that'll catch your knife in a funny way. Then we have our 2 halves of onions. Now, the way I like to describe dicing an onion is to create a grid on the face of the onion and then cut that grid off, basically. So with that in mind, what we're going to do is we're going to start with horizontal cuts going 3/4 of the way through the onion. By using the knife, I'm going almost all the way through the onion and doing like 2 rows for, say, a small and medium dice on this size onion. Then we're going to make vertical cuts going the length of the onion and roughly the same width as the horizontal cuts. So we made like a cube, you can kind of see going up the onion face. So when we go back, then we come back the other way and just slice off that grid to make a diced onion. So you're going to dice 3/4 of the way through. When you get to that point, when the dice stops where you cut on the horizontal, flip the onion over on its side, and then do the same thing, and you have diced onion. Now, my wife always complains I make this look really, really easy, but it's because I've done it a lot. Go slow and practice on a frequent basis, and it should come to you pretty quick. The other thing is, though, make sure your knife is sharp. If your knife is dull, you're going to work really hard, then you're going to slip and your accidents are going to happen. But if your knife is sharp and you do cut yourself, the cut won't be as bad, because a dull knife will actually tear your skin versus a sharp knife, cutting your skin, you actually heal better. So that's how to dice a red onion, or any onion for that matter. The next vegetable is a bell pepper. Lots of people will approach these differently. The thing is, though, the seeds are what you want to avoid in this, and also the stem, because the stem is bitter and the seeds are an unpleasant texture. So the way I approach that is I cut the base of this off, leaving the stem end on, and I just make a slit on it vertically, and then reach inside and grab the core. As you can see, there's the core. I grab it and peel the top away, holding on to that. So that way you can hold on to most of the seeds and that white pith, so to speak, inside then, and you have so the bell pepper, and you have a perfectly open bell pepper. So then I lay it kind of flat and use your knife in a horizontal cutting motion to kind of cut this extra white out of your bell pepper. Because, I mean, not that it tastes bad, but it's a weird texture and it doesn't cook the same. And it's also aesthetically unpleasing. So then, if you want a julienne bell pepper, you literally can just leave it the size you want and just cut it in equal strips going down the length of the pepper. Now, if you want to dice the pepper, you just make the julienne, turn these around, and just cut them into pieces. The little end you cut off at the very beginning, if there's no defects in the bottom of it, on the inside, then you can literally just julienne this and also dice this as well, because that's perfectly usable. I don't really use this part just in case there's some weird defects around the stem on the inside. and you're not really wasting that much pepper. And that way you yielded about 95% of the bell pepper. So that was my basic knife skills video. I hope it helped, and look forward to doing another video for you.